Right. Okay. Hello, everyone. It's another week now. So yeah, I just finished this one. This is another big topic, very big topic. So I'm trying to finish it. So I'm going to rush it a bit. Yeah. So if you pick a picture of this, you can follow when the camera moves away, please. So we know exactly where we're talking about, what we're talking about. Tonight is a medical night. So it's you'll find it quite interesting. So it's all about 5 elements. So I'll start off with the topic with the 5 elements. Yeah. So take a picture of that. Next picture, please. These are when I was teaching in LA, America, the University of Marymount. That must be about what? 7 years ago now. 7 years ago. It's a faculty of psychologists. Okay. So next one, please. So on myself on the left-hand side, and these are all everybody attending. You know, it's a Taoist conference. Okay, yeah. Thank you. Next one, please. Okay, now I will have to translate this this afternoon. So what it means is the first left-hand side of the row, it's just 5 elements. So everything is 5, 5, 5, 5, 5. The second column is the 5 organs. And then what we have is obviously the 6. So you got the yin organs, and the third column is the yang organs, and then also you have the 5 sensory organs, so sensory receptors, and then you have the 5 we call the musculoskeletal system. Okay, so we got a lot of 5 emotion and things. So tonight I'm just going to pick out a few, but I would keep on these traditional Chinese medicine or Taoist medicine and I can try to explain a little bit, in English, because it's quite difficult. Next one, please. So I'm sure a lot of you have seen this before, is the 5 elements. So tonight is really going to the 5 elements. Okay, yeah. Next one, please. Okay, so I'm going to explain a bit in a minute. So just go through it. I'll translate in a minute. Yeah. Okay. Next one. Okay. Next one. Go on. Just go through it, Paul. I'll translate later. Yeah. Thank you. So you can see all these pictures. That's what the topic of tonight. The 5 elements. So the macrocosmic. Next one, please. Go on. Yeah. And the microcosmic. And then gradually going into our organs. Okay, thank you. Right, just have this first. Okay, so what I'm trying to do is, because the 5 elements are very important, shall we say, topics of the Taoist medicine. Okay, yeah. For our new friend, I just quickly quote: Taoist medicine have 2 types. One is external Taoist medicine, Wai Dan, right? Medication outside, you're using medication outside the body. Okay, so all the herbs and all the needles or the moxibustions, anything outside as stimulation to stimulate the inside of the body. Okay, that's Wai Dan. We call it external Taoist medicine. So Nei Dan is internal Taoist medicine that we don't use, right? We don't use any drugs or don't use any herbal remedies. We don't use any medication outside the body. It's internal natural body medicine. So that's why we're relying on exercises, methodology, in English, mind and body. So we use the training of the mind and the body to induce our natural body medicine for self-healing. So that internal Taoist medicine. And also because our entire culture, right? The entire culture, Chinese ancient culture, come from obviously the universe. That's why we call macrocosm, heaven, earth, and human energy, right? Because everything is energy. Okay, yeah. So and then you have microcosm. So 3 treasure is us. So inside us we have Jing, Qi, Shen. So the Jing, okay, the Jing is got a bit of interpretation even in ancient China for a long time. So because in pronunciation, in the character as well, the Jing is in the Chinese can be, shall we say, interpreted in many different ways, because the Chinese character, they are pictograms. So we have one picture here, combine another picture, and then maybe pull another picture in, is gradually creating a full character out there. So that means everybody, like I look at this picture, my thought could be this way. You look at the same character, the same pictogram, your thought maybe think about something else. So it's just like a picture. So it's, that's why there's a lot of misinterpretations, a lot of variations there. So sometimes for thousands of years has been misinterpretation, the Jing about human, because it's the pronunciation Jing can relate to the sperm of the male. And obviously it's a reproduction energy we're talking about. So some people relating to the female practitioner as the eggs and things. So that is completely misinterpreted, because yes, it is a reproduction energy, but we are not, we are not talking about that. We're talking about exercises, right? Not exercises on the bed, okay, please. Okay, exercises, right? And methodology. So that's where, because in the ancient Taoist medicine, you do have the study of sexuality. Okay, so a lot of people misinterpret that. So the Jing actually is, what it means is Jinglik. So Jinglik is like is a muscular skeletal, musculoskeletal exercising. That means it's like a force, right? Exercising. So musculoskeletal forces. So that's what I mean, Jinglik. So people are just using the Jing because we are talking about methodology. So please look at it this way, from this angle, not from other angle, because we are talking about exercises. Okay. So the Jing, I will use it as Jinglik, which is for methodology. Qi, of course, there's a loads of qi. So therefore, if you talk about macrocosmic qi, you got heaven qi, earth qi. Today, to all the topic, I'll try to touch it a bit. And then also the internal qi, microcosm, inside loads a lot of different energy. You cannot just say internal energy, because you have, the meridian energy, you have the organs qi, right? You have the pulse qi, you have the blood qi, you have the nutrition qi. Today you call it immune system, the defensive qi. So even inside, we have a lot of different type of qi or energy. Okay, so you cannot just say, oh, I'm training qi gong. Okay, what type of qi you're trying to cultivating? So if you don't even know what you're cultivating, why bother moving around? You don't even know what you're doing. It's very illogical, isn't it? And also irrational. So therefore, I'm just trying to put it, all the research on the table for you. You think about it. Okay, yeah. So Shen, there's another misinterpretation here. Shen. Now the character of Shen in Chinese, direct translation is gods or spirit or immortals. All right, depending on what angle you're looking at. But here, as a human science, the energy of the human mind and body is nothing to do with spirit, and that's completely misinterpretation there. All the ancient texts, they use this word. For example, in my Chinese book, I have a whole chapter on that. Yeah. So the English book translation, you just have to wait after the pandemic when I publish it. Okay. The word "shen," actually, they will say, all right, "gong shen yi hui" in Chinese, in Cantonese, "gong shen yi hui." That means the God, the spirit, the immortal who is in charge of balancing or managing the vitality of the liver. He's gone on holiday. He's gone on holiday. He's gone. All right. So therefore, a lot of people would, in a way that, something, I just use the word something has, which supposed to be managing, balancing the organ qi, the liver qi, very, very important, right? So that something is gone on holiday. So therefore, in the Taoist, Dao Jia, Dao Jiao, on the spiritual side of Taoism, because Taoism have two evolution stages. One is Dao Jia. That's about 3,000 years ago, right? 2007, 76 or 772 to be exact. That's where Lao Tzu at that time, the end of Zhao dynasty, okay? Yeah, and that's Dao Jia, which is philosophy, and also they call it the very ancient Chinese science, right? You know, okay? And then almost 1,200 years later, in the Han dynasty, there's Zheng Douling, some guy called Taoist priest Zheng Douling, yeah, he just made up this thing about Taoism in a spiritual way, because at that time somebody else cooked up something called the Indian Buddhism coming over China. So everything is just myth, legends, just hearsay. So that's next time, if you're interested, I'll give you another session on it. But that is the time that a lot of the time that people put into Sen, become more spirits flying in the airs, and Harry Potter on the broomsticks, right? And also all the immortal. But what it is, that's something, right? So they make up all the ceremony. So try to invite the immortal back, okay? Or, you know, Buddhist. Thank you. So that's where the misinterpretation is. But that's something is actually, we know today. Today, you can call it the hormones, because the hormone balancing the vitality of our organs, psychologically and physiologically. And the ancient term is just called Neidan. So that's the natural body medicine. So we are talking about that kind of qi. So therefore, you have to be very, very careful, and you have to, you know, make sure that you understand this first. So that is a micro cosmic qi, right? Which is obviously the three treasure of the human being. Okay. So now if I start off here, right, running late now. So tonight, all I'll say is 5 elements. Okay, yeah, so 5 elements relating to the 5 seasons. Now there is something we call 5 seasons, it should be 4 seasons. So I'll explain to you why it's the 5 seasons in ancient texts. And they all come from the 24, right? The 24 seasonal changes. So in a minute, I'll go into this part. And also I'm relating the 5 elements, right, to the 5 yin organs qi, and then the 5 element, obviously, to the 6, right, to the 6, the yang's organs qi energy, okay? And then also relating 5 organs, 5 elements, 5 elements into the 5 sensory receptor or sensory organs. And then also I'm using the 5 elements to relating in the internal Taoist, Neidan Taoist medicine, 5 elements to 5 animals, okay? And 5 elements to the 5 emotional outbursts. So if we have all the time in that hour, I'll try to explain a little bit for you. And the next time I'll do the 5 elements with the sense, the sound, and also the light and the colors. So it's a big topic, the 5 elements, you know, so because that's how our culture come out, and this is the ancient medical science, so it also come out from there. Okay, so marketplace, so we start part 2.